Hmm. Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to wherever you're in the world. This is Viper Strike 95 Flight Simulation, and today we're here on another round of the City Tour series. Today we're actually heading to none other than downtown Tampa, Florida. We're here at Pier 9 Airport, just right outside of downtown Tampa, Florida. A beautiful area here in Florida. And we're doing the city tour not just in Tampa, mind you. We're going to be doing the entire the entire Tampa Bay area. This includes Tampa, Dundon, Clearwater, and St. Petersburg today. So this would be our city tour. It's great to have everyone here. Uncle B Sim Channels here. Good morning. And Sergeant Staff 123, by the way. I hope you both had great streams. I'm going to give you both a shout out. I'm going to give you both guys a shout out. You definitely check out their streams. They're good friends of the channel. So let's go over today's flight plan, shall we? Let's pull this back up. So let's go ahead and let's go over the flight plan, shall we? So we're going to start here from Peter on Knight Airport here in Tampa. This, by the way, this is the main GA airport for the city. From here, we'll fly across the port of Tampa Bay. We're going to be reaching the University of Tampa first. Then once we do here, we're going to cross into the downtown Tampa area, the Florida Convention Center. Then we have Amalie Arena, home to the 3-time Stanley Cup champions Tampa Bay Lightning. Then reach the Florida Aquarium, and we might go next to it, the American Victory Ship and Museum. Then we'll be heading down through downtown Tampa, explore downtown for a little bit. And then once we go here, we'll be visiting the historic Ybor City, known as Cigar City. This is a historic neighborhood. And then from there, we're going to be visiting the Florida State Fairgrounds, which is right next to Tampa Executive. Then we'll be visiting the University of South Florida. And if you guys don't know this was actually built on top of an old Army airfield back in the day. Then once we do here, we're going to be visiting the area where it's one of the most visited theme parks in all of Florida. Busch Gardens, Tampa, and its nearby water park, Adventure Island. Then we'll make it to one of the nation's top zoos in Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park, a place I've been to a few times. And then we will go to visit Raymond James Stadium and George M. Steinbrenner Field, two of the more stadiums here in Tampa, and make our first stop here at Tampa International, which is the main international airport served in Tampa. Flight 2 will be commencing through the Tampa Bay Downs. We're going to visit Dundon, visit Clearwater Beach and the Marine Aquarium, downtown Clearwater, in Baycare Ballpark, home to the Clearwater Threshers, and the spring training home of the Phillies. Then we'll do a quick stop here at St. Petersburg Clearwater International, known as a major focus city for Allegiant Air. And leg 3 will be going through the Florida Botanical Gardens, through across the Bradenton Beach, then the world famous St. Petersburg Beach. Visit downtown St. Petersburg. We get to visit Tropicana Field, home to the Tampa Bay Rays, my favorite baseball team, by the way. Then we visit the St. Petersburg Pier, Al Lang Stadium, the Salvador Dali Museum, and finally Albert Whitted Airport, the main GA airport here in St. Petersburg, to wrap up our journey. So yeah, it's going to be quite a bit. Great to have you guys here. Hey, Ibanez player. Yes, we're in Tampa. By the way, we're in Tampa, Florida. Very excited to actually do it here. I love visiting Tampa. It's such a nice city. I've enjoyed all my visits to Tampa. Good to see you, friends. All great to have you. 17 should not be allowed to be hockey champions. They have no natural ice rinks. Well, here's the funny thing. I know a lot of people criticize the U.S. for Tampa for not having hockey champions, but you have to realize that Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 1993. So, let me get a shout for a Ibanez player. Another streamer here. He's actually living here in Tampa, so he could actually help out on today's stream. And Rad Pilot Randy, good to have you here. You're also from the Tampa Bay area. That's cool. You grew up in Tampa. Yeah, Tampa's awesome to live in. I like the city a lot. So getting this plane started should be really easy. Let me go ahead and readjust the volume of the our window is there. They have a dining you can sit over the apron. Oh, that's cool. So I have my slideshow for today. Now, if you guys join my Discord, I mean, I recommend you guys check out my Discord. I actually have the slides for today. So I have the Tampa Bay area slides here to show you guys. I wanted to do two strange things in Florida because, you know, Florida's a state I know quite well. I've been to the state a few times. So this is Pier 09 Airport here in downtown Tampa. So Pier 09 Florida, Kilo Tango Papa Foxtrot. So this airport here is located on the Davis Islands. This is weird. So this airport here in particular was used to be the main airport for the city of Tampa from 1935 to 1945. Still used by general aviation operators due to its proximity to the city. It was named from prominent attorney businessman Peter Knight, the namesake of Holland and Knight Company, which is a very well-known law firm headquartered in Tampa. So this area actually has quite a bit of a history itself. It's used a lot by the GA. Also, in addition, there are several events that are held here at the airport, mainly the Islands Fest. And then nearby is the famous Gasparilla Pirate Fest, which is the main holiday and tradition here in Tampa. And that event has quite the long history itself. But they pass right through the airport, making it a very interesting place to see events. In addition to this as well, this airport covers 110 acres with 2 runways, 422 and 1836. Most of the people visiting here are general aviation, which is made up of 99% of it all GA stuff. And during World War II, the airport was used as an auxiliary fire landing field for several Army airfields, including Clearwater, Drew, and MacDill. What's this going on? That's weird. That was a weird glitch. I don't know. I was in Tampa. Oh yeah, you played golf in December, bro. This is weird. Yeah, it's a weird. It's a weird glitch. I apologize. Maybe it's with this. Maybe if we see if I can change the palette model. There. Maybe I'll change the palette model. So that is a bit about Peter Knight Airport. So Tampa, Florida is one of the major cities on the Gulf Coast of the U.S. It's the largest city in the Tampa Bay area, by the way. It's also the 3rd most populous city in Florida after Jacksonville and Miami. And it's the 52nd most populous city in the country. I'm going to go ahead and change planes, guys, so I'll be right back for 1 second. That glitch is definitely interesting. It's a glitch, so let me go ahead and change back to a different plane. So I'll be right back. There. Okay, we have. Oh, Ibanez. Oh, welcome in, Ibanez, to the Discord. Oh, I want to see those pictures. Oh, this is cool. Albert Wood. Oh, that's cool. Wow, these are cool pictures of Albert Whitted. Yeah, in fact, Albert Whitted is what I did for the Tampa Bay stream back last year. I landed, that was the airport I landed for that stream. Yeah, I like Albert Whitted. Okay, now we're back to where we should be. Hey, Super Typhon, good to have you here. And really, this never happened on my stream before. I'm gonna have to change to a different plane. I'm probably gonna go to something like the Shock Ultra. I may have to go something really slow. I'm gonna have to pick something else because I can't have that glitch on my stream, unfortunately. So I'm probably going to have to pick. Probably going to have to be taking the little It's gonna be the little 103. It's gonna be the little 103 Top Runner. So I'll be in that. I do apologize for changing my plane, but I can't have that visual glitch on stream. It is weird. I can't have that on my stream. But it's great to have you here. A C-17 landed here by mistake. It did actually. That was that. So here's what happened during that accident. By the way, from my research. Originally they flew from McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. They did an extended flight from Europe, from there to a location in Southwest Asia. Then they returned back to the U.S. So apparently, due to a lot of pilot error and fatigue, they accidentally landed here and not at MacDill Air Force Base. Which, by the way, let me pull up the map and let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is where they landed at Pier 9. This is where the C-17 landed here. Now they were supposed to land this right here at MacDill Air Force Base, Kilo Mike Charlie Foxtrot. This is MacDill Air Force Base, the main Air Force base of the area. So that's why they got confused and landed there, by the way. It's weird. So we're gonna go ahead and take off. Let's get back to Tampa. Let's go back to the topic of Tampa while we get a chance to reload. So we're back up in the air. In addition to this as well, Tampa is also well known for being a military center. During the 19th century, for the establishment of Fort Brooke, this was a military center. However, the big thing was the cigar industry was brought here, and it was reincorporated as a city in 1887. Today, it's driven by a lot of tourism, healthcare, finance, insurance, and more. The port is the largest in the state, with over $15 million of economic impact to the city. So the history of Tampa goes back to the indigenous tribes that used to be here. For thousands of years, the indigenous Native Americans inhabited here. Early Spanish explorers interacted mostly in the Tocobaga, whose principal town was the end of North Tampa Bay. In the mid-18th century, the events of the U.S. colonies in the U.S. drove the Seminole people down to northern Florida, until after the U.S. gained control of it in 1821. After the Seminole War, it expelled a lot of the Seminole tribe from Florida. Tampa became was an isolated frontier post, and when Florida became the 27th state, Tampa was incorporated as the village of Tampa. During the Civil War, the Navy set up a blockade for much of the ports, including here in Tampa, and the Battle of Fort Brooke happened in 1862. In the Battle of Ballast Point, as Union forces inflicted serious damage to the city of Tampa. Then, after the Civil War ended, after the immediate post-war period, Tampa was actually kind of poor. But in the mid-1880s, they developed much more due to, well, all the phosphate in this region. And Tampa is still a major exporter of phosphate. But you also have the railroad and the cigars. And then after the first 20th century, the cigar industry was the backbone of the Tampa economy. In 1904, started the Gasparilla Pirate Festival. Apparently, that festival is pretty famous around Florida. And there was some corruption that happened due to organized crime. So after the corruption ended in post-World War II, Tampa grew considerably and saw record population growth in the 50s and 60s, thanks to all the tourism with Busch Gardens and Lowry Park. South Florida was established in 56, and the city continues to grow even to this day. So that's a bit about the history of Tampa, Florida, just a brief history about this place. So the first place we're going to be visiting is the University of Tampa. I know So we're going to head back to the University of Tampa. So the University of Tampa itself, it's a private university here in Tampa, Florida, accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. Offers more than 200 programs and studies, including 22 different master's degrees, a broad variety of majors, pre-professional programs, and certificates. Plant Hall once housed the Tampa Bay Hotel, a resort that was built by Henry B. Plant in 1891. Its Moorish minarets atop was seen as the iconic symbol of Tampa, by the way. Its professional sports teams are known as the Tampa Spartans, playing in Division II, and they have won 19 Division II national championships, mostly in baseball, men's soccer, and volleyball. Some notable alumni include Lou Piniella, baseball player and manager, Pete Peterson, a retired U.S. Air Force colonel, firefighter, and POW. And finally, Tino Martinez, a former Major League player as well. So that is about the University of Tampa. But here's the university down below us. As long as we don't bomb the wrong place. So here is the University of Tampa. I know this is slower than what I usually take, but the visibility here is outstanding. So, and I mean, look at the view here. It's just awesome. I love the view of, like I said, I do apologize for having to change planes twice. This never happened to me on the previous screen that I did. Hey, Angry Warhorn, good morning. Guys, definitely check out Angry Warhorn, a long-time friend of the channel. He does his Yonkers G52 flights around the world. He does a lot of other flights around the Northwest and the Rocky Mountains. So definitely check him out. So there's the University of Tampa baseball field down below us. So Angry Warhorn, we're exploring the city of Tampa. We're exploring the entire Tampa Bay area today. So we're doing that. So we're exploring all of it today. So the next place we're going to be visiting today, next destination is Amalie Arena. It used to be called the St. Pete Times Forum and the Tampa Bay Times Forum. But this is a multi-purpose arena home to the Tampa Bay Lightning NHL team, National Hockey League. Opened in 1996. It's also been used for basketball, arena football, concerts, and more. Which arena football, the Tampa Bay Storm. It's also hosted to a lot of other events. The NBA bubble was held. The Raptors actually played their season here in 2020-21 due to COVID-19 and not allowing them to play in Canada, so they had to play here in Tampa. Funnily enough, it also features its own organic vegetable garden and a pretty large television screen here too. Amalie Arena is currently home to the 3-time Stanley Cup champions. And here's an interesting fact about this arena. It has its own Tesla coil, by the way. The Tampa Bay Lightning have their own Tesla coil on top of the arena, and they do it before games and all. So we're going to visit now over here to our right is the Port of Tampa. Here's part of the Port of Tampa. This is Amalie Arena. Oh yeah, and by the way, there are cruise ships here too. Look at this. I found a Carnival cruise ship. Yes, there are cruise ships, by the way. Because Tampa is a cruise port, mind you. Carnival does cruises here. There's Amalie Arena. Home of the Lightning. Now, I've never been to Amalie Arena though. I have. I've actually driven by the arena. I have driven with my family by the arena, but I've never been into it. The only NHL arena I've been into is Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. And trust me, Nashville is absolutely crazy. If you ever go watch an NHL game, Nashville fans are absolutely nuts. They're insane. So the next place is the Florida Aquarium. Now this aquarium here is non-profit. It is a large-scale 250,000 square foot aquarium. It's home to more than 7,000 aquatic plants and animals from Florida and around the world, with a strong emphasis on around the local area. It was opened back in 1995, and it features many different exhibits to show the journey of a drop of water from one of Florida's many freshwater springs into the ocean itself. It features a 500,000 gallon tank exhibiting all the animals from around the Gulf of Mexico. They also have done a lot of research on the coral reefs to fight the disappearance of the world's coral reefs. But yeah, they have tons of animals from their website. You can definitely check them out as well. Oh, awesome. Is that the cruise ship default? No, that's photogrammetry. You see, Tampa is photogrammetry in the city. But not that. But yeah, this is the Florida Aquarium. Look at this, Florida Aquarium. Now next to it is the American Victory ship. This is the USS Tampa Victory ship, one of the many Victory ships ever built during the war. As you can see down below. They turn it into a living ship museum. I mean, there are plenty of other ships around the country like that, which is more exciting planes. It's just much more exciting than, let's say, exploring that too. So now we're entering back to downtown Tampa, to our visiting over here. As you can definitely see, downtown Tampa isn't nearly as built up as some of the other cities here, which is something I noticed from flying around the city quite a bit. Then we're going to fly upwards. So guys, if you want to get interested in what my other streams, Wednesday would be the Orient Express tour that was suggested by the chat, which is part of the Virtual Airline Association, Firefly Air. We'll be doing that achievement. So for that stream, we'll be going through, we're going to actually directly follow the railroads. We're going to do some IFR flying, which is I follow railroads. And we'll be following the railroad line down just like they did for the real flight. That way we can make it true to the original and we can follow the railroads. I think that would be a really cool opportunity. So down in front of us is Ybor City, is down here. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have a slideshow for that. Now, Tampa's tiny compared to Miami. It is. It's small. It isn't nearly as big, but that's why we're going through the entire area today, type fun. Hey, Infidel Fireman, good to have you here. So this is Ybor City. Unfortunately, I didn't have a slide for Ybor City. But here's what I can tell you about it. It was founded in the 1880s by Vincent Martinez Ybor and other cigar manufacturers, mainly and populated by thousands of immigrants, mainly from Spain and Italy. For the next 50 years, they rolled hundreds of millions of cigars annually. It's unique in the American South for being entirely populated and owned by immigrants. And the city was actually bustling and gave it the unique nickname of Cigar City. It flourished from the 1890s until the Great Depression. And then the loss of the cigar things were accelerated after World War II. Until it was virtually abandoned in the 70s. However, with gentrification of artists coming in the 1990s and 2000s, the original neighborhood developed into a major nightclub and entertainment district. And since then, the area's economy was diversified with more offices and residents. It's been designated as a National Historic Landmark, and several structures are in the National Register of Historic Places. So yeah, Ybor City is a classic neighborhood. So I'm going to take a picture of Ybor City. I know I'm going a lot slower than I usually go, but I mean, I got plenty of time. So I want to ask you guys, I hope you guys have had a great weekend so far. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. And I hope your weekend went well for all of you guys. My weekend's going pretty decently. So guys, some pretty big flights in news currently. So Merce showed this off, but the Steam Gauge Grand Caravan from Black Square just came out, which basically they made it into almost a true study level caravan. This was the base caravan, mind you. So that came out, and it featured a lot of real life stuff from the Grand Caravan. So if you like your steam gauges, this is really good. The South American mesh from Orbex is out, which means the entire South American continent is getting adjusted. This mesh covers the entire continent of South America, which is going to be really nice. South America is absolutely beautiful. So I'm glad Orbex is giving this place love. The catch is, this is 25 gigs of download. So if you like, and then this week, PMDG is actually launching their 737-600 model, which is the shorter model of the 600. So we might get it by the end of the month of August. That should definitely be interesting as well. And then finally, we got some images of the Boeing 757. This is from these images are from MSFS add-ons. There's a screenshot of the 800s. Yeah, the 800s coming out pretty soon as well. In fact, the other 737 model I'm probably going to get is the 800 model, just because Southwest Airlines flies a lot of those things, and that's the model of the 737 I've been on the most. And then finally, Bluebird Simulations. They shared a few of the screenshots of the 7.5, and that thing looks actually really good. For guys that don't know about the 757, basically it's known as the flying pencil because of how long it is. Yeah, I'll be and it's going to come out in 2023, which is about over a year away, but I'm more than willing to wait for the 7.5. That's definitely a plane I want to get a lot of flying. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. Besides, 99.5% PMDG owners are mostly going to fly the 800 because nearly 5,000 is made. Exactly. Exactly correct. That's why I'm flying it too, because I mean, 5,000 of them have been made. It's the most built 737 model. I'm not saying the 700 is bad. I'm just saying I'm probably going to get the 800 model. So here is the four-seat fairgrounds. Now, interesting fact. This area here in particular is home to, in addition to being home to the Florida State Fair, which it also features its own area called Cracker Country, which is basically a recreation of the Pioneer Village that used to exist here in Florida. It's a replica right over here. And then there's the expo hall. There's a little amphitheater down over here. So all that is over here. Then there's Tampa Executive Airport over here. You connect your phone to current hometown. Really cool secret type on. Always cool to have it. So we're going to go now head to next. We're going to be heading to the University of South Florida. USF is what they call it. University of South Florida is basically going to be, it is a public research university during this time. South Florida is a public research center, university, with the main campus being here in Tampa. It is one of the 12 members of the state university system here in Florida, home to 14 different colleges, offering more than 200 undergraduate majors, along with graduate specials and doctoral level degree programs. It was actually founded really recently, actually, in 1956. It's 65 years old. It's the 4th largest university here in the state of Florida, and the 11th largest public university in the U.S. with over 50,000 students from over 145 different countries, all 50 U.S. states, 5 U.S. territories, and the D.C. District of Columbia as of 2020-21. Southern Florida sports teams are known as the Bulls. South Florida Bulls compete in the American Athletic Conference of Division I of the NCAA. By the way, that's collegiate sports. They've won combined 150 conference championships and 6 national championships as well. There's some very notable alumni. Some of the most notable alumni include Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager. Then we have one of the most legendary athletes as well. We also have one of the more iconic players, Jason Pierre-Paul, 2-time Super Bowl champion for the Giants and the Bucks. We have some pretty well-known. We also got Jordan Zimmerman of Zimmerman Advertising, one of the largest advertising agencies in the world. In terms of, and finally, that would be about some of the more famous alumni here from South Florida, despite being a recent university as well. Oh, your alma mater. Oh, nice. Yeah, South Florida's... Yeah, here's the funny thing. South Florida doesn't actually... We're going to visit the campus. Here's the campus of USF. Now, to our right, let's look at to our left. Our left is, well, Busch Gardens. We'll be visiting there in just a second. The only reason I don't fly this plane a lot more is because it is quite a bit slower. So maybe if you guys don't mind, I could change the Shock Ultra later on. So I can get through this little area faster. Then again, I lose a lot of the visibility. So I may have to adjust going down and forward. So here it is, South Florida. So there's quite a few areas here in this campus. There's the Ugalink Center, home to the USF basketball program. This is where the basketball program plays here. for USF. It's home to the men's and women's basketball team. Opened all the way back in 1980, actually. There is the basketball arena. Here's the rest of the campus, by the way. Hey, Court, good to have you here, Court. Good to have you here. Give him a shout. Court also streams here too. You guys definitely check out him as well. So if you guys like the content, and for those who have not been following, if you guys like what you see, don't be afraid to smash that follow button. Yeah, this is the campus of South Florida University, USF. And this is nice. Look at this. Look at the top of it. What do you think about the camera work here? Look at the camera work I'm doing. Look at this. How is that how you pronounce the name? Port? I think it's Port. I guess so. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I don't know. So after South Florida, we're going to be visiting Busch Gardens, Tampa. Busch Gardens, Tampa, for guys that don't know, it's actually 335-acre animal center theme park. It's based on African animals. It is of all SeaWorld parks, it's second behind SeaWorld Orlando. It tends to exceed 4 million people. It's owned but not operated by SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. It's also had a lot of thrill rides over the years, including the dive coaster Shikra, a launch coaster Tigris, and Montu, the largest and tallest, fastest inverted roller coaster. In more recent years, they opened another brand new roller coaster. Iron Gwazi came out this year, which is the newest roller coaster. Which came out here, which opened in 2022, and it's considered by many to be one of the top coasters in the world. So they also offered a lot of animal exhibits. In fact, there's over 200 species of animals, making it actually the largest zoo in Tampa. Yes, there are more species of animals here in Tampa in this theme park than there are in the zoo Tampa Zoo. Featuring animal care centers, aviaries, in the Serengeti Plain, and you could do both safari and do all the theme rides and stuff, which is really cool stuff here. And this is definitely a place I want to visit. I definitely want to visit Busch Gardens. No broom beer in here anymore. I guess so. But here is the African exhibit here at Busch Gardens. This is the Serengeti Plain exhibit we're flying over currently. Next to it is Adventure Island Water Park, which is the water park for Busch Gardens, Tampa. So we can definitely I can definitely make out a few rides. That's Kumba, Ikara. Down here is the Wild Mouse area. I believe there's Montu around here. This definitely is one of the most visited theme parks here in the state of Florida. So yeah, 19 viewers. Oh my goodness, guys. I wasn't expecting to get that many viewers today. Because a lot of people like the city of Tampa. I mean, to be fair, Tampa's really cool. Yeah, mind you, Tampa is only just the beginning of today's stream. because we're visiting the entirety of the Tampa Bay area. So following this is we're going to be heading to Lowry Zoo Tampa at Lowry Zoo. It's Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park, technically what it's officially called. This zoo actually is a 63-acre zoo nonprofit located here in Tampa. It traces back to the original exhibit back in the days in the 1930s. It moved here to Seminole Heights in 1957. It used to be kind of a rundown zoo in the 80s. But it was completely redesigned and rebuilt in the late 80s, and now has become a really top-rated zoo. In fact, this was Tampa's first zoo, by the way. It features all sorts of animals, including the Asian domain, featuring the Indian rhino and Malaysian tigers. And there's a Florida wildlife center based off all about North American species, like skunks, alligators, North American black bears, red wolves, West Indian manatees, and an alligator snapping turtle. Then there's a primate world section with all about primates. A Wallaroo station. This is the children's zoo areas. Safari Africa is there as well, and there's the aviaries. So, a little bit about Zoo Tampa. It's not the largest zoo in Tampa, but it's a dedicated zoo, unlike Busch Gardens, by the way. We'll be flying over that soon. I'm gonna make a stop here and change to the Shock Ultra for the rest of the journey. I want something a little faster, I guess, than this, so or maybe I'll just stick to this. Actually, I'll probably stick to this. What's new, Viper? This is the city tour here in Tampa. I've completed the Japan Journey Achievement back last Wednesday. I cracked over 400 followers as well 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it looks so good. It does. It looks really good. Like, if it's somebody else on Gramature right, it looks really amazing. So we're over Lowry Park, and there's the zoo. The zoo's down over here. There's the Zoo Tampa. So the next place we're visiting here, we actually have two sports venues we're going to be visiting here shortly. They're right next to each other, basically. So the first one here is going to be George Steinbrenner Field. Now you just need subs. Well, here's the thing, Typhon. Unfortunately, because I don't earn any money at work, I don't have enough money to actually support monetization just yet. So I'm gonna pass on that until I get it financially stable enough to actually have monetization because of taxes and all that. I wish I could monetize, but I know I can't. So instead, I want to focus on just creating content for you guys. So this is George M. Steinbrenner Field. Used to be called Legends Field. Opened in 1996. Home to 11,026 people. It's the largest spring training ballpark in Florida. It serves as the home of the Tampa Tarpons, a single-A affiliate of the Yankees, and it's the spring training home of the franchise. Its dimensions and facade mimic the old Yankee Stadium. It's also the first spring training stadium to include luxury suites. And outside are plaques commemorating all the Yankee players. Now, it was renamed George M. Steinbrenner Field in 2008. In honor of George Steinbrenner, the controversial owner of the Yankees, but he's also resident in Tampa. So there's that, and then right next to it, by the way, is Raymond James Stadium. This is the Raymond James, by the way, is the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers National Football League team, the NFL. Since its opening back in 1998, it mainly holds 65,000 people, but it can be expanded to 75,000 on certain events. It built at the replacement for the original Tampa Stadium. It's famous for its replica pirate ship located in the north end zone. It's been Raymond James Stadium. It's been named after Raymond James Financial for its entire existence. In addition to being home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's been the site of 3 different Super Bowls: Super Bowl 35, Super Bowl 43, and Super Bowl 55. The latter of which the Buccaneers became the first team in NFL history to play and win a Super Bowl on their home field. Yes, it's so crazy about that. It's also home to the ACC Championship game for 2 years, and it was the site of the college football playoff in 2017. It's hosted football events like soccer matches, equestrian sports, monster truck shows, and large concerts. So yeah, turns out Raymond James has been it's been quite the notable sport and venue as well. Oh, this coffee's gold. Don't turn on the phone numbers. We're gonna go ahead and go down lower. I need a fill up my gas tank. Yeah, the issue, these Ultras do not have much range, so I'm gonna have to, so here is George M. Steinbrenner Field. There's the baseballs, there's the screen train home of the Yankees. Everyone's favorite baseball team. Everyone's favorite baseball team, the Yankees. I'm just being sarcastic. Don't mind. So there is George M. Steinbrenner Field. There's plaques and all that around here. And then here is going to be, then there's Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, home of the Bucks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers baseball, Tampa Bay football, I mean. The famous NFL football players playing here include Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber, Don Lynch played football here, Levante David, and most recent years, even Tom Brady has played here. Yes, Brady actually plays for the Bucks. Now, right here is the famed pirate ship replica, actually in the north end zone here. That's the famous pirate ship built here at Raymond James Stadium. So here's some information about that pirate ship stadium. The pirate ship. It's a 103-foot, 43-ton replica. Each time the Bucks score a point here, enter the red zone or win a home game, the cannons fire off, and they fire once for each point scored. So if it's a touchdown, it fires 7 times. They're also used for pregame introductions as well. Which is definitely the most iconic feature here at Raymond James by far is the pirate ship. It definitely makes Raymond James a very unique NFL scene. So finally, we're going to make our landing here at Tampa International. This will be our first stop for today's stream. This is the first landing spot for today. So Tampa International Airport. This international airport's actually got quite a bit of a history to itself. This airport actually opened in 1971. It serves 93 non-stop destinations through North America, Central America, the Caribbean, and Europe across multiple carriers. It used to be called Drew Municipal Airport until 1952. During World War II, this airport was used for the 3rd Air Force. They trained 120,000 combat air crews, primarily in bomber planes, for both the European and Pacific theaters. They also flew a lot of anti-submarine patrols during World War II. After World War II, Drew Field was returned back to the city of Tampa, and it became the main international airport in Tampa. And it became Tampa International Airport during the 50s and 60s. Due to its longer runway, they've been held in planes like the L-180 Electra, DC-8s. I know the landing isn't great, fine. At least I got it stopped pretty good. As well, in most recent years, this airport has been increased facility, and in fact, it's even one of the best airports here in the United States. Actually, it's one of the best. So, in terms of destinations from around the world, Tampa International has been quite a few major destinations as well. So, according to flight connections, some important destinations, some notable destinations for Tampa International include Panama City, Panama, Cancun, San Juan, Puerto Rico. You also have flights to Miami. They can fly to Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, as far west as Seattle. And also they do flights in Europe. There are actually 3 particular areas in Europe they fly. They fly to London Gatwick on British Airways. They fly to Zurich on Edelweiss Air from Tampa to Zurich. And finally, they fly all the way to Germany, to Frankfurt on the European carrier of Eurowings. So Tampa, they can fly to all sorts of destinations, mainly in the U.S., but mostly in the U.S., but with some international destinations. There's Rad Pilot Randy. Good to have you here. So this So Vertical Sim is bringing this airport to the sim from Vertical Sim. They're currently working on the airport, actually. So they haven't released it yet. So I'm curious to see how that works. This is Tampa International Airport. Never been here, but this is what it looks like in the base. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to go ahead and switch out the planes. So I'm going to bring in the Shock Ultra for the rest of the trip. Actually, I'm actually going to remain into it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take a quick break. So I'll be right back. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. I got to blow my nose and such. So I'll be right back in just a second. So I'm back. Let's take a quick break. So we're going to go for leg 2 of today's trip. So let's go over leg 2, shall we? So leg 2, we're going to be flying through Tampa Bay Downs. We're going to be visiting Dunedin, Clearwater Beach in the Marine Aquarium, downtown Clearwater, Daycare Ballpark, and then make our stop here at St. Petersburg Clearwater International. So going to be a simple leg number 2. So we're going to be going ahead and let's go back to our plane, shall we? We're gonna go ahead and take back off. Thankfully, these Ultroids don't need much of a runway, so you can take them off really easily. Taking that off. Back off pretty easily. So I know some of you have been asking about this question. But what is exactly Tampa Bay, you may ask? But what is Tampa Bay exactly? So Tampa Bay is actually a large harbor in a shallow estuary. It's connected to the Gulf of Mexico, and it comprises of Hillsbury Bay, McKay Bay, Old Tampa Bay, Middle Tampa Bay, and Lower Tampa Bay. The largest freshwater influence of the bay is through the Hillsborough River, which connects through the bay in downtown Tampa. The shores of Tampa are home to the weeded island cultures of archaeological cultures discovered during the time for thousands of years. And they relied on the bay for food. And the laws were rich enough, they were one of the few Native American cultures that didn't have to farm because of the rich amount of fish and all that are very present here in Tampa. However, it degraded quite a bit during the 20th century. And by the 80s, there was a sharp decline in a lot of sea life. However, greater care has mitigated a lot of the human effects. However, there's still been occasional red tides and algae blooms. And the term Tampa Bay is used as a shorthand to refer to all parts of the area, which comprises the main towns and cities. Local team and marketing branded as Tampa Bay, further in misconception that it's actually the name of a particular municipality. So apparently the bay itself was founded 600 years ago as a brackish-drowned river valley type connected to the Gulf of Mexico. But the bay itself has had quite a lot of growth, and it became a major port here in the state of Florida. So that is the entirety of the bay. In particular, right next to us, to our left, is the Old Tampa Bay. So this is the Old Tampa Bay, and to our left, there's a lot of bridges that do connect to this area. Mind you, these are a lot of communities built into the bay itself. There's a lot of marshes and all that down over here. There's some facts about the Tampa Bay area. Let's talk about some interesting facts about this area. It's home to the world's longest continuous sidewalk. Bayshore Boulevard is 4.5 miles long. Is the world's longest continuous sidewalk, used by a lot of cyclists, joggers, and walkers. And of course, you have never-ending views of the bay. Another interesting fact that despite the area being known for its heat, Tampa Bay's highest ever heat is 99 degrees. The city of Tampa itself never got to it, though St. Pete did reach 100 degrees in 1995, but it's never really that hot because of its location. Ybor City is home to Florida's oldest restaurant and the world's largest Spanish restaurant. Colombia. Oh yeah, and Ybor City, I forgot, is also one of the most haunted places in the world. Oh yeah, one more thing. There's also one more thing you need to be careful about when you visit the region. Tampa is the lightning capital of the world. So if it's not sunny, it's going to be lightning. Maybe that's why Tampa sports teams are called the Tampa Bay Lightning. But yeah, Florida averages more than 10 deaths per year due to lightning strikes. In fact, more than 50 lightning strikes per square mile between Tampa and Orlando. But yeah, be prepared for thunderstorms. And here's a fun fact, why is exactly this region the lightning capital of the world? And that's because Florida's location is unique because it's warm water, because Florida's around warm water and all that. And specifically, it's worse in the summer because of it. Yeah. There's also Tampa's also one of the best cities for coffee. If you love coffee shops, Tampa's got it all. Yeah, these are some interesting facts about Tampa Bay region. So there's the Tampa Bay Downs located over here. This is the main horse racing track of the area. Though it's not nearly the same quality as Churchill Downs, which if you visit Louisville playing a few times. Churchill Downs is a world famous thing. So the place we're visiting next is going to be Dunedin, Florida. This is one of the many of the other little cities here in the Tampa Bay area. It's located here in Pinellas County, which is where a lot of this area is. Dunedin, actually the name itself comes from the Scottish Gaelic name for Edinburgh. Dun Edon. It's part of the St. Petersburg Clearwater metropolitan area, the 5th largest city in the entire county with a population of 35,000. It's home to several beaches, including the Dunedin Causeway, Honeymoon Island, and Kalidasi State Park, which is known as one of the best beaches in the world. It's also one of the few open waterfront communities from Sarasota to Clear Key where buildings do not obscure the view of the intercoastal waterway. So if you also know this, the Tampa area, it's got lots of fantastic beaches too. So if you love beaches, this is pretty cool. Also, the business district is devoted to a lot of the corporate franchises and stuff. It's home to the Pinellas Trail, which is 39-mile long bicycle pedestrian trail. So, just a brief overview of the history of the city. The first person given land grant here was Richard L. Garrison in 1850. It was originally named Jonesboro. Two Scotsmen later named it after applying for their first post office here. It was taken back from the Scottish Gaelic word dun. With a dock built to accommodating sailing vessels, it became an important trade center, and at one time had the largest fleet of vessels in the entire state of Florida. It became incorporated as a town in 1899 as part of a response to numerous complaints about pigs running rampant in the settlement, leading to a still standing ban of livestock within city limits. Now, this area during World War II, it became a primary site for the production of the land vehicle tract for the LVTs, and they were often built here. One of the main traditions of the city is that, due to its sister city to Stirling, Scotland, once a year, Scotch clans descend upon the city for the Highland Games here, as well as the local middle and high schools that have their own competition level pipe and drum band. In addition to other games, they have held many other festivals, including their own Mardi Gras celebrations too. Some notable people from the city include TV actor George Lowe, Don Zimmer, former baseball player, coach, and manager. And finally, David Nutter, who's a film director, and he was best known for directing a lot of pilot episodes. In particular, he worked on the pilot episode for Game of Thrones. So he worked on quite a few films too. So that is on Dunwin. So Dunduin, we're gonna go ahead and move that way. No, I don't need landing rate monitor, at least for this flight. So Dunduin's located over here. Dunwin is located over here. So down now past us is called Desi Island State Park, which is right in front of us. Definitely we're doing pretty good here. We're just getting closer to it. Maybe I should take a faster plane, but maybe for the last leg I'll take something a bit faster. Hey, Dougal McTavish, good to have you here, Dougal. I hope you're doing great, Dougal McTavish. I hope you're doing fantastic. My good friend, we're touring the Tampa Bay area today. We're entering Dunedin, I believe. It's called Dunedin, I believe. Named after the Scottish Gaelic name of Dunedin, which is the Gaelic name for Edinburgh. So here's the downtown market. Now over here to our left is TD Ballpark, the spring training home of the Toronto Blue Jays. Since 1990, it holds 8,500 people. It originally was known as Technology Park and Florida Auto Exchange Stadium. During the first 2 months of the 2021 MLB season, the Toronto Blue Jays actually played their home games here due to COVID-19, when restriction between non-essential travel between the U.S. and Canada wasn't allowed. So all the Canadian teams had to play in the U.S. and the Blue Jays played here before they moved to Buffalo. There's TD Ballpark. And there is Dunedin. Oh yeah, here's an interesting fact, Dougal, if you weren't paying attention. It has its own Highland games here, along with other stuff due to its history with Scotland. So from here, we're going to move into Clearwater Beach. Let's talk about Clearwater for a little bit. So Clearwater, in Clearwater, Florida. The Clearwater is located in, like I said, still in the same county, Pinellas County, northwest of Tampa, St. Petersburg. It's on the base of the Gulf of Mexico. It is a population of 107,000 people. It's home to several of one of the city's historic avenues. Cleveland Street. It's home to Baycare Ballpark, Preston Park. It's home to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and the global headquarters of the Church of Scientology. Yes, I know, guys, it's technically a cult. It's actually located here in Clearwater. Yes, the Church of Scientology is actually located here. It was originally home of the Tocobaga people. However, in 1835, the U.S. Army built Fort Harrison here. After the whole Seminole Wars, it quickly grew as a land. During the Civil War, Union gunboats raided the supplies of the community. In the 1900s, the population quickly built up due to like all the railroads and stuff. And during World War II, became a major train base for U.S. troops. Virtually every hotel has used as a barracks for New York troops. Hey, let's see who it was. Hey, Justin A. Mercer has followed the channel. Justin, good to see you. So, this is Clearwater Beach, particular down here. It is a resort area located on the barrier island of the Gulf of Mexico, located west over the Intercoastal Highway. It is well known for its white sandy beaches stretching for 2.5 miles along the Gulf. It is a full marina as well. It offers shopping, restaurants, and activities like parasailing, jet skis, boat tours, which you can see dolphins, obviously, miniature golf, fishing tours, and even pirate ship cruises on pirate ship replicas. Clearwater has frequently been ranked as one of the best beaches in the country. Its Sanford Resort has been one of the best resorts in the country as well, and it's one of the top beach destinations around. And that's due to the fact that this area, the beach itself is absolutely beautiful. Oh, hey, Howitzer, good to see you. Your sister owns a condo. Nice. Yeah, this is Clearwater Beach down below us. I mean, look at the sand. The beach sands are completely white. And then just go down altitude. I need to head down altitude. Drop down. And just the water's warm. I mean, the water is a great heat sink, Howitzer. If you ever know about biology and science, you probably know that water is a great heat sink. It absorbs a lot of heat, which actually makes this land a lot drier. But yeah, this beach is absolutely gorgeous. She's selling it for $3.2 million. I don't have the money for a resort. My parents would have loved it, but I'm not paying $3.2 million. So yeah, I was just wanting to drop down altitude. This is Clearwater Beach, absolutely beautiful. Then next to the beach is our marine aquarium. Clearwater Marine Aquarium is actually here. Opened all the way back in 1972, and its location here on the beach in a former water treatment plant. Numerous forms of marine life are permanent residents, all of which have serious injuries that prevent them from ever returning back to the wild. The most well-known resident was Winter. It was a bottlenose dolphin that was rescued in 2005 after having her tail caught in a crab trap, which was meant to catch trap. Her injuries caused the loss of her tail, unfortunately. So the aquarium fitted her with her own prosthetic tail, which gained a lot of worldwide attention to the facility. And she even starred in her own film, Dolphin Tale, and the sequel, shot partially in the aquarium. In addition to dolphins, they also home to several sharks, sea turtles, river otters, pelicans, and rays as well. But they did tons of work in rehabilitating a lot of the animals here as well. Yeah, this is default scenery. 30,000 a year in property taxes. Yeah, it's not all sunshine. Yes, it may not have sales tax, but the property taxes have something to do with it. Yes, I mean the property taxes they play well there too. This area is just no, it's not bad at all. In fact, the entire Tampa Bay area has photogrammetry. That's why I wanted to fly around the area. Tampa Bay is absolutely incredible. It's definitely one of my favorite areas in the country to fly over. There's the aquarium. There's the Clearwater Marine Aquarium down below. Oh, Uncle B Sims also made it here too. But guys, if you like what you're seeing, I do have a Discord, by the way. Definitely check out my Discord. If you're not following the channel, please smash that follow button. I have a goal for 500 followers. I need to get 500. If you guys can help me get to 500, I'll plan a really special stream for 500 followers. I'm thinking about doing some intercontinental flights from New York to LA or something. I'll come up with something pretty awesome. Yeah. To honor 500 followers. So we're entering now downtown Clearwater. We're currently visiting here as well. So this is downtown Clearwater, right in front of us. Some notable people that actually live here in Clearwater. Some notable people that either have been a part of it. Tom Brady's actually living here in Clearwater. Tom Brady's actually, he's born in California. He personally lives in Clearwater, Florida. Tom Cruise actually lives in Clearwater too. That's where he lives personally. He actually splits time between his home here in Beverly Hills and Clearwater. Evel Knievel, the stuntman, he actually died in Clearwater, as he lived here too. So here's someone that actually grew up in Clearwater. Hulk Hogan actually lived here in Clearwater. So there's quite a few notable people that live here as well. That was some pretty notable names. So now we get to Baker Ballpark. It's a spring training home of the Philadelphia Phillies. It's also the home of their affiliate, the Clearwater Threshers. Originally was named Bright House Networks Field, but has now since been Baker Ballpark in 2021. Opened back in 2004 with a seat capacity of 8,500 fans. There's also a sculpture in the west entrance of the Ace. It was sculpted by Kevin Brady. It was also home to the American Athletic Conference tournament. It's been home here since 2014. The most people visiting a single game was in 2019 when 10,055 fans came to see the Threshers. And the most to ever see a spring training game for the first spring training record was 11,340 fans in March 17th, 2019. Oh, Knievel died of natural causes. Yeah. Ever been to Seymour, Illinois? My parents have been to Seymour, actually. I've actually driven past Seymour. Fortunately, it's no for Braintree, but Seymour actually is not far from where I'm from, actually. I actually don't live far from Seymour. All I have to do is go, leave my house, go on I-65 and go straight north. Seymour. I've driven by Seymour in the past. I heard a little ditty about John Mellencamp. During his prime, he was very famous in the 1980s. Hey, Sergeanttown's back in Indiana. Yeah, it's my home state. I definitely need to get a city tour of Indianapolis. I know that area pretty well. I need to do one of Indianapolis. It is my home state after all. But I'm thinking about somewhere else probably for next Sunday city tour. That's a good question. Now, I know an American kid doing the best he can. There's Baker Ballpark ahead of us. Now do be respectful. This plane isn't known for speed, obviously. This little ultralight can only go like 6 knots. I'm going to have to go down just to cruise the speed. Now, it did mention that Indiana is the most boring state. I can understand. Indiana's flat. Like, the only parts of Indiana that aren't flat is the Floyd Knobs region, around where I live, southern Indiana, and then obviously the national forest here by Bloomington. So. So there is Baker Ballpark. Okay. So here's Baker Ballpark, home of the Philly Spring Training site. Now, if you guys remember back my baseball stream, actually, for all the OGs have been around my original series. When I was down in Florida, I actually did all of the spring training stadiums in Florida. So I visited all 15 of them back in Florida. So I visited all the spring training sites in Bradenton, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Palm Beach. I got to actually explore those areas in great detail. So I got to know all that spring training stuff. So here's Baker Ballpark, home of the Phillies. We're gonna actually just make a touch and go here. This is actually going to be St. Pete Clearwater International, Kilo Papa India Echo. So St. Pete International Airport, include Clearwater. This airport is a public military airport in Pinellas County. It's serving the Tampa Bay area. It's one of the 2 major airports here in the area. It's a small hub primarily for commercial services, though it's shown double-digit growth. It handled more than 1 million passengers in 2014. Most scheduled airline traffic is here in Tampa International, but St. Pete Clearwater remains a destination for a lot of the low-cost carriers. In particular, a focus city for the Las Vegas-based carrier Allegiant Air. The airport is also less busy. This is frequently used by a lot of private planes and executive jets make their way here at Tampa, St. Pete Clearwater. They make their homes here. The airport uses Tampa Bay the Easy Way as an advertising slogan, and flying to PIE is part of its advertising as a reference to its IATA code, which is PIE. The airport itself is on the west shoreline of Tampa Bay, 6 miles north of St. Petersburg. As well. Now, during World War II, this became known as Pinellas Army Airfield. And this was used to train the 3rd Air Force. They trained the 304th Fighter Squadron with P-40 Warhawks and P-51 Mustangs out of the airfield during the duration of World War II. conduct a lot of anti-submarine patrols. Because, you know, the U-boats are nearly everywhere during that time. After the war, it was returned back to Pinellas County. It was given the designation EIE. It was changed to St. Petersburg Clearwater International in 1958. During the 50s to the mid-60s, several major U.S. airlines operated here in Tampa, including Delta Airlines, Eastern Airlines, National Airlines, and Northwest. With the advent of the jet age, runway 1735 now extends to nearly 8,000 feet, but now it's since been to 9,000 feet for the bigger jets. They operate a lot of jet stuff from the 1980s. However, though, in the recent development, Allegiant Air made this a very major city, major airport as well. A lot of flights in Illinois, Indiana, and more. In addition, as well, the facility, the airport covers nearly 1,900 acres, actually, of land. With 2 asphalt runways, runway 1836 is 9,730 feet. With an ILS approach, and runway 422 is 5,903 feet. Hosts the Coast Guard Air Station Clearwater, which is the largest and busiest Coast Guard air station in the U.S., operating both Hercules and MH-60 Jayhawk planes. The Army Reserve also maintains its own support facility here, along with U.S. and Customs Border Protection Control Tower, which is among the busiest in the U.S. In fact, the entire track of the airport is a foreign trade zone as a result. It employs more than 3,000 people here. And according to my flight connections, Tampa St. Petersburg, St. Pete Clearwater offers a lot of destinations here in the U.S. Let's here it is. According to flight connections, there are 59 domestic flights out of this airport. So this is 59 domestic flights. The longest flight is from here to Provo, which is around over 1,000 miles, flown by Allegiant Air, obviously. But in addition to that, they also do flights to Key West, Wichita, Tulsa, Fargo, Minneapolis, Louisville, Indianapolis, even an international destination in Toronto, Bangor, Maine, and more. So Allegiant does tons of flights from this small little airport here in the city. So yeah, Flight Connections is a great website to show what kind of commercial flights operate from these airports. So I hope you guys don't mind all the little facts information from yourself, from myself. That way you guys can learn so we're now going to head our way over to more beach areas. And just put down the altitude a bit. We got pretty high up. So, let's see some pretty important stuff. So but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. So let's see how much longer we have before our destination. We only have 24 nautical miles left to go. Yeah, this area is just really nice. I really enjoy flying in this area a lot. Maybe I should get the Drifter Ultralight from Ant's Airplanes. Maybe that's what I should get for the next stream. Going for 15 euros, but I think it would be a really good addition for me. That plane also, in addition to it as well, also features its own autopilot, which would be really, really good for me. It also features really airflow models, so this would be really good for well. So that would be a great addition for me. I think getting this would be a much... Oh, you want to see a Lockwood air cam? Oh yeah, that would be interesting. Let me look at the plane because... Ah, I see what you're talking about. 87 knot cruise speed, stall 34. Any concern about rising tides? Yes, this area is vulnerable to climate change. I mean, to be fair, Florida itself is at risk of climate change. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, have you not seen how flat Florida is? Like, the tallest point is about 1,000 feet. I flew this area with a coworker while the Beechcraft Musketeer a few years back. Oh, that's really cool. Here's more of the beaches around here. This is North Ranton Beach, where we're at. we get to Rankin Beach, we're gonna talk about some interesting facts. So we're going to talk about St. Petersburg Beach, which we should be approaching somewhat soon. Oh yeah, the highest, yeah, 340, really 3.5. It's a little lower than I thought. Yeah, no wonder Florida is such in danger. But St. Pete Beach is actually a coastal city here on Pinellas County. It's very famous as a tourist destination. It was formed on the towns of Passaville, Bella Vista, St. Petersburg Beach, and unincorporated Pinellas County. It's located in downtown on Corey Avenue, containing many bars, restaurants, shopping, and retail outlets. It's recently been one of the best beaches it's rated as the #1 beach in America by TripAdvisor and the #5 best beach in the world. It's world famous for its beach. It's known for water sports, kiteboarding, windsurfing, parasailing, paddleboarding. It's also got the longest stretch of undeveloped beach, St. Pete Clearwater. So this area is very, very famous for its beaches. I've been to St. Pete Beach and it's great. I'm not usually a beach kind of guy, but I really like visiting the beach here. Yeah, it's crazy how they built entire communities in the water. And mind you, a lot of these houses get through here by boat. So down here, there's usually areas that connect to the main city through the boats. I also see the Chancellor on sale. Oh, the Chancellor just got out of beta. I forgot. So the Flight Similar Chancellor is out of beta now. It's been set forward in danger for 50 years. It's still fine. Yeah, but you may never know what's going to happen. Like, Earth can be really unpredictable. That's the thing. Yes, people may have said it and still happening. That doesn't mean it can't happen. It can still happen. Like I said, it's better to be preemptive and prepare for the worst. And I'm not that kind of person who is like panicking too much, but it's still good to prepare for some of that. That's something that's needed now. This is Treasure Island Beach, located here. St. Pete Beach is going to be a little further down. Now that we're going to do God Decide. The Portuguese are certainly impacted. Yeah. Like, climate change absolutely affects the coral reefs, and that affects, you know, thousands of species could be affected by it. Florida's geological history indicates Florida's been submerged several times. Yes. Yeah, a lot of the archaeological references definitely confirm that. I think the 6 million people who live in South Florida today divide into two groups. Those live 6.5 feet above current high tide and everyone else. Yes. Florida's really low tides. Don't have to ask me about it. Now here's St. Pete Beach in front of us. This is the entire city of St. Pete Beach. All that's in the community of down here. So here's the entire city community. This makes me wish the winter comes back again and I can tolerate 20 degrees Celsius again. Yeah, I don't think the American South could take negative 20 degrees Celsius. No? So, there is the entire community of St. Pete Beach. There's St. Pete Beach. This is the entire beach, and look at all of this. Now, right here is the greater St. Petersburg beach area. It's very undeveloped compared to a lot of the other beaches. And the sand are so light. Floridians live on top of a giant limestone sponge. You cannot say it better than yourself. I remember a kid when the world was freezing. Not. Yeah, I guess some people are a little crazy though. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about how I believe in this. I care more about finding the numbers than just people screaming it out. I think people need to look at the scientific figures. From so after we visit St. Petersburg Beach, we're going to visit St. Petersburg itself. We're going to be heading there next. So St. Petersburg, Florida. So St. Petersburg, Florida, is one of the other areas here in Pinellas County. Here as well. So St. Petersburg, Florida is not named after St. Petersburg, Russia, funnily enough. But this area here is actually the 5th most populous city in Florida, believe it or not. It's the 2nd largest city in the Tampa Bay area after Tampa itself. It's part of the Tampa Bay St. Petersburg Clearwater metropolitan area, the 2nd largest actually in the state. It's locals refer to as St. Pete, with an average of 361 days of sunshine annually. It is a Guinness World Record for the Sunshine City. It's also got the Guinness World Record for the most consecutive days of sunshine. 768 days between 1967 and 1969. Average water temperature here is 76 degrees, and due to its good weather and low cost of living, it's been a very popular destination for retirees. Though in recent years, the population has been much more useful than it was previously. So the history of St. Petersburg goes back to Pafilo y Narvaez expedition in 1528. It was the first inland expedition of North America. Of the 300 men that participated, only 4 survived, and one of those expeditions is Alvar Nunez Cabedenza de Vaca, wrote the first book of the people, wildlife, flora, and fauna of inland North America. His book, Relacion, in 1542. Now, in the 19th century, the city was founded by John C. Williams, formerly of Detroit. He was the co-founder, along with Peter Demons as well, built the terminus of the Orange Belt Railway in 1888. St. Petersburg was incorporated as a town in February 29th, 1892. With a population of 300 people, the local lore says that John C. Williams and Dimmons flipped the coin to see who would honor and name the city. When Dimmons won the coin toss, the city was named after St. Petersburg, Russia, where Peter Dimmons spent half his youth there, while John C. Williams named the first hotel after his birthplace, Detroit. The Detroit Hotel still exists here in Central Avenue, but turned into a condo. The first major newspaper to debut here was the St. Petersburg Times, established in 1884. During the 20th century, it was incorporated as a city. Al Lang invited the St. Louis Browns here for the spring training in the city. Al Lang at the time was actually a mayor, and then he worked tirelessly to make the great thing around St. Petersburg, and as a result, St. Pete became a very popular destination for baseball teams, and eventually became a mayor and ambassador of the city, and helped its population grow tenfold in 1 decade. Oh, here's an interesting fact that a lot of people don't know about St. Petersburg, and this one's really cool for all you aviation people. Well, St. Petersburg was actually where commercial aviation was born. Yes, St. Petersburg. This was something I didn't even know about this, but St. Petersburg actually had its own commercial airline, the St. Petersburg Tampa airboat line. It was scheduled between January and May of 1914. This airline provided service between St. Petersburg and Tampa, 23 miles. It was the first scheduled airline in the world to use fixed-wing aircraft. The history of that goes back to P.E. Fansler when he brought in Thomas W. Bennos to service his airboats, connect the two cities that were as much as days apart back in 1913, mind you. That were kind of a day's travel apart. By car back then it was 20 hours, 4 of the 12 hours by train, and 2 hours by boat. But with the plane, you can get there in 23 minutes during that time. A 3-month contract was signed, and they took the Lake of Deluve for several days, and it became the world's first scheduled airline services. Pilot Anthony H. Janis piloted the plane in its main flight between St. Pete and Tampa. Due to widespread media coverage, over 3,000 spectators at a parade was there during the time. Eventually, the first tickets were formed by a final bid by former Mayor Abram C. Peno. He boarded the plane for a 23-minute flight that really exceeded altitude of 5 feet above the bay. One was used, and they also added 2 more boats for the fleet. One was to ferry passengers, and second was to train pilots. And for one-way flights, it was $5 during this time, which is $140 in 2020 money. And he continued the flight all the way to May 5th, 1914. From start to finish, the airline flew over 7,000 miles, 172 flights, and 1,205 passengers. And commenting on the significance of the line, Thomas Benowitz said that some people would be crossing oceans on airliners they like to do steamship today. And it served as a prototype for today's global airline industry. Hey, Type Backhand, good to see you. What was the first airline that would be on non-fixed-wing aircraft? That's probably what the balloon services probably, friends all. We're good to see you. But yeah, that is about that airline. And this is the plane they actually use for the services. This is a Benoist 14. It was a small biplane that was built here in 1913 in hope to carry passengers. There are 2 examples built were used to provide the first zero-heavy air-than-air airline services. So some characteristics, they include a crew of 1 pilot, one passenger, a length of 26 feet with a wingspan of 44 feet, one 75 horsepower engine with the performance of max speed of 56 knots and a range of 109 nautical miles. Believe it or not. Now we have planes that go 7,000 non-stop. Yes, that's 100% true there, Super Typhon. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know, but St. Petersburg is the birthplace of commercial aviation. There's scheduled commercial airline flights. They made their start here. During the 1920s, St. Petersburg gained a lot more tourist destination, with visitors mainly coming from Canada, the North and Midwest by automobile. During World War II, Bayboro Harbor became a train base for the Coast Guard, and the Army Air Force chose it for their technical services. In the 50s, the city received another population boom with a lot of retirement resettlement in the city, and it continued on even more so. And in modern history, well, the Tampa Bay Rays made their home here in 1998. So it continued to multiply in the 20th century as it continued to be a major place for a lot of retirees. So yeah, that's a bit about the brief history of St. Petersburg. All of humanity. I've been on a plane before. Warfare Killer, good to have you here. Yes, I've been on planes too. I've actually been on planes a few times. When I was younger, I was actually on a C-130 from the Kentucky, from the U.S. Army. And then more recent years, I've been on Southwest Airlines on the Boeing 737. And then this past trip, we went onto the Airbus A319 and A321s. Good to see you both here. Go tight backhand in there. Oh yes, the Rays Stadium, by the way. Tampa Bay Rays represent, boys. Because yeah, there's Tropicana Field down to our left. So Tropicana Field, if you guys have been to my baseball series, you know the Rays are my favorite team. But this is Tropicana Field. It was actually built in 1990. It was originally represented to try to bring Major League Baseball to the Tampa Bay area. It took a few tries until 1998. We finally got the team to actually be here in Tropicana Field. It's the only non-retractable roof stadium in Major League Baseball. It's a permanently dome roof, making it the only year-round indoor venue in the league. It's also the smallest stadium in Major League Baseball, funnily enough, because they had to close off some of the upper decks. So the capacity is actually 25,000 normally, but if you remove the tarps, it can go to 42,000 people. But believe it or not, before it actually played baseball, by the way, it was also used for college football, for some of the bowl games were played here. And even for 3 years, actually, from 1995 to 1996, NHL hockey made their home here at St. Petersburg. They called it the Thunderdome, and it's still the largest and highest capacity of any hockey arena in the NHL. And they set massive attendance records in the NHL that probably still stand to this day. So there's quite a few, features. Now, if you've been to my baseball series, you would probably know about Tropicana Field's features. As a Rays fan, I know a few of them. Obviously, the slanted roof is its most recognizable architectural features, designed to reduce cooling costs. However, another thing that really made it unique is the catwalks above it, and they have different ground rules for the catwalks depending on the position, whether that be a home run or a double, all that sort of stuff. Also, in addition to this as well, there's also the Rays tank, the touch tank, which is 35 foot with 10,000 US gallons, home to 3 different spray species. One of the top 10 biggest Rays tanks in the nation. It's free for all fans attending the game, and they're sponsored by the Florida Aquarium. And there have been a few people that actually have hit the touch tank. The most recent has been Cole Calhoun in 2018. It's the most recent ball that ever hit the tank. It's also home to the Ted Williams Hall of Fame as well. However, the issue with the ballpark is most people actually live in downtown Tampa. So there's that. Module 7, good to see you. No Diamondbacks. Yeah, at least the Diamondbacks won a World Series. So the next one would be St. Petersburg Pier. Now the pier itself has been around for a long time. But the most recent has been in 2020, which was the new facility, featuring the new $92 million project, featured playground, educational center, and numerous artworks. But the pier's been along for a long time. The first pier was actually in the 1880s, by the way, in 1889. But the pier's gone through a lot of changes since then as well. In pop culture, this thing has featured in quite a few pop culture areas. A significant amount of footage from the pier was filmed in the mid-1990s TV series Sequest DSV. It was also featured in the local zombie anthology Zombie St. Petersburg, which is a book basically, so that's kind of where the pier's been featured. Also, the pier is where they did the service flights. Hey, Warfare Killer with the follow. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the follows. If you haven't followed the channel, don't be afraid to smash the follow button. Every bit of support would be greatly appreciated. But this is where the commercial flight service was held, right around the pier. During that time. And then next to the pier is Allen Stadium, which is down here. This was it was a long time baseball. This is where a lot of the spring training took place during this time. But has now since actually been a soccer facility, funnily enough. 3,500 fans make their home here at Allen Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the USL Championship, which is below MLS. It was almost used exclusively as a baseball facility for over 60 years as the spring training site for many teams: the Yankees, Cardinals, Giants, and Mets, and Orioles, and the Rays all made their home in Allen Stadium here in St. Petersburg. And then after the last of the baseball teams have left, they converted this into a soccer facility for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And it's been a really nice soccer stadium to visit. And then they also proposed to expand it more to up to 18,000 to make it move to MLS. So we might see it move to 18,000 fans. So there's Allen Stadium. Then down below us is the Salvador Dali Museum that opened right next to it. But the Salvador Dali Museum actually was a pretty recent addition. But the museum has actually been around since the 1980s. In 1982, this art museum was dedicated to the works of Salvador Dali, one of the more iconic artists from Spain. Located in downtown St. Petersburg, it's known for its skyway and skylight, known as Enigma. It is a member of the American Alliance of Museums during this time, and features many different events for families to attend, like workshops, performances, films, and more. But the history of this goes back to the 1940s, where people wanted to actually build a museum here in St. Petersburg. And this museum contains over 96 oil paintings, over 100 watercolors and drawings, 1,300 graphics, photographs, sculptures, and objects that are all about Salvador Dali. It's home to more masterpieces of Dali than any other museum in the world dedicated to him, and includes many of some of his most famous paintings, like the hallucinogenic Toreador, the discovery of America by Columbus, and the disintegration of the persistence of memory. All these were painted by Salvador Dali. In addition to showing off his work, there's also it also educates the public in understanding about art through the exhibition of works by Dali and artists of similar vision. So there's all about the museum here in Salvador Dali. Finally, the last thing is our airport for today. This is our Wynn Airport down below us. We're going to make our landing here. I'm going to go ahead and put the showcase camera. So this is Albert Whitted. Everybody's player knows that. Oh, there's USAPR. Good to have you here. But Albert Whitted Airport, this airport here in particular, this area is around the area where they did the St. Petersburg line. But the airport actually opened in 1929. It was named after Lieutenant James Albert Whitted of the USNR, which is the United States Navy Reserve. He was a native here in St. Pete, and he was actually one of the first 250 naval aviators of the U.S. Navy, commissioned at age 24. Albert would take up people in the Bluebird plane, and he never charged for the flights, and he left a lot of his spectators in awe of his aviation maneuvers. He also built a Falcon as well, so he built a lot of planes during it. However, Whitted was actually killed during a flight in 1923. So it was renamed that in 28. National Airlines became service there in 1934, and it moved by the end of World War II to St. Pete Clearwater International. Whitted Airport was known for being one of the bases for Goodyear's famous airships during this time. During the first years of World War II, it became a part of the Coast Guard as well. Then post-war, they continued a lot of pleasure boat operations with the Catalina PM Mariners. However, it's since now been known as a general aviation airport. This airport covers 110 acres, with 2 runways, 725, 3,607 feet, and 1836. Most of the people entering here are GA. Around 92% of planes that entered here in 2015 were GA. It's also around the area. There's the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, is held here annually in the spring, which is part of the IndyCar series. So yeah, St. Petersburg is actually a place where they did a lot of IndyCar racing is here in St. Pete. The airport is actually used as a track for the event, which is really cool. It's also home to businesses like St. Pete Air, Tampa Bay Aviation, biplane tours, and more. And in 2009, it was named the Florida Generation Aviation Airport of the Year Award. So yeah, there is a lot about this airport that is pretty cool. So yeah, this is a really cool general aviation airport here in St. Pete, and it's beautiful. You got great views of the bay. So yeah, that's it, guys. 22 viewers. You guys are actually amazing. You know, I was not expecting it to have that many viewers. And this here is downtown St. Petersburg. Yeah, this is beautiful. I love visiting the Tampa Bay area. It's great. You have lots of cities. You got great beaches. So we're going to go ahead and land here at runway 18. Yeah, 18 would be our destination. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Man, what a great stream. So after all this is over, after we get done with this, Monday we'll be having on Wednesday we're going to be doing the first leg of our Orient Express. We're going to head from Paris to Strasbourg. We're going to follow the railways down over there. So we're going to be following the railroad. I'm going to be talking about the Orient Express and all about the train routes. So yes, there will be lots of train stuff, which I think would be cool. Never did anything much about trains. And then Sunday, another city tour we're going to be doing. Maybe I was thinking, technically I haven't done this, but hopefully I'm going to get the Drifter Ultralight and show that off for Sunday's stream. Much better. Ah, we made it. Nice. Welcome to Winnet Airport here. I think once we get stopped and get ready for the end of the stream, we are probably going to actually visit I was thinking that we actually go ahead and pay a visit to Beamit. She's doing a GA flight over Japan, so I want to say a massive thank you guys so much. Parking. Oh, let's go ahead and park. Oh, let's go ahead and park. That's it, guys. And that's it, guys. Welcome to St. Petersburg, everyone. Man, what a beautiful airport here in St. Petersburg. You guys have all been amazing today. Thank you so much for the support. All the new follows from Brand Power Randy, Just Name Mercer, and Warfare Killa. Thank you guys for the follows today. So, guys, thank you. So, like I said, we have a lot to go through today. We have a lot to do. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, we're going to do Paris to Strasbourg on Wednesday. And then next Sunday is going to be yet another city tour series. I'm hoping that I'll be showing off the Drifter Ultralight. I was actually thinking that we're going to head to. I'm thinking about heading through to the city of Phoenix. That's where I'm looking. We're gonna head to Phoenix, Arizona, and around the area. And we might be able to even visit Falcon Field. Done by the amazing Jeppesen 2001. So, guys, thank you so much. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go rate the good old B-Mint. She's amazing as always. B-Mint is doing a GA flight in Japan right now, so I think you guys are gonna absolutely enjoy what she's going to do. So thank you guys so much for everyone. Your guys' support has been absolutely amazing today. I'm proud of everyone here. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be going ahead and signing off here. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye, everyone.
Mint just can't die, guys. She just